Hey, you guys, welcome to this episode of The Rachel Cruze Show. So I know a common dilemma that a lot of homeowners face is wanting to move and upgrade their home, but not knowing whether it's possible financially. So today we're going to figure out how much home you can afford. But there are a few things that you need to have some clarity on before we get too far in the process. So number one is define when the right time will be for you to buy a home. So whether you haven't bought your first home yet or you're a current homeowner looking to make your next move, there are a lot of factors in the mix. So there's the housing market, inflation, interest rates. All this stuff and all these aspects affect the home buying process. But listen, the truth is we have very little control over those things, but we do have control over ourselves and our money. So once you've taken control of your budget, you've saved up for a down payment, you've gotten your income where it needs to be for the monthly mortgage payments, then for you, house hunting should begin. It's not always based on what's going on in the market. Sometimes it's based mostly on whether you are ready for buying a house or not. Number two, based on that timeline, what should your price range be when you're ready to start looking? Well, this is the piece of the puzzle that I want to focus on today. Because remember all the factors we talked about a few minutes ago? Well, all of those, you may not be able to control them, but you should be aware of them so you can make the best decision for your money. So let's calculate exactly how much house you can afford and talk through a game plan to see if you can actually afford to upgrade. The first step towards figuring out if you can afford a bigger home is to calculate 25% of your take-home pay. So when you're budgeting for monthly housing costs, I recommend the 25% rule because no one wants to have their dream house but then not be able to afford groceries or not being able to do stuff with your money and your income, because if it's all going straight to your mortgage payment, then you're not going to have the margin to invest for the future, for retirement, save up for kids' college, all these other things. So let's take an example of $75,000 a year, and that being your salary, because that was the median household income in America as of 2023. So obviously this is going to vary based on where you live, your cost of living, what you do for work, all the things. So when we're talking about housing, again, things are going to be different in Des Moines versus San Francisco, okay? So we know that. But according to the data, it's the most realistic number for people right now, which is why we're going to use that for this example. So with an income of $75,000, after taxes, you're bringing home about $5,000 a month. And based on the 25% rule, this means your monthly house payment should be no more than $1,250 a month. And that's going to include, again, the principal, property taxes, and HOA fees. Now, before I share the next three steps, I want to tell you about a new game that I am loving. It's called Telestrations. And you guys, this is such a fun game. Think about the old school game of telephone and Pictionary combined into one. And it is so much fun. I love it because it's not like a crazy stressful game. You can actually enjoy conversation with friends in between rounds, but it is so funny. And if you're not a great artist, if you're terrible at drawing like I am, trust me, it is still a great time. So start making lasting memories today and buy Telestrations at Walmart or wherever you buy games. All right, the second step towards figuring out if you can afford a bigger home is to plug in your 25% number into a mortgage calculator and determine your house hunting budgets. So this means you're going to be combining the number that you just calculated with other factors like interest rates, insurance estimates, and property taxes so that you know that you're working with an accurate total. And this also will determine how much down payment you need to be saving for. So if you say, okay, I can afford a $1,250 monthly payment, a home that costs $163,000 with 20% down, a 5% interest rate, $182 in property taxes, and $71 in insurance would fall within the $1,250 budget. So I know that's a lot of numbers, but that's exactly what you want to do to figure out your exact number. And you can't just take the price of your dream home and divide it by 30 years and then again by 12 months. It's a little bit more complicated than that. So I would encourage you to plug in all of your numbers into a mortgage calculator because it does all that tricky math for you. So I'll link the mortgage calculator that I use so that you can start crunching your numbers right away. And it's a really simple tool that helps a lot. All right, the third step in figuring out if you can afford a bigger home is to add up all the additional fees like closing costs, inspections, appraisals, and changing and home insurance rates. So let's say you're purchasing a $400,000 and $1,000 home, which was the median price for a single family home May of 2023. Multiply that number by 4% and you'll get an estimated closing cost of $16,000. So then add that amount to a 20% down payment, $80,200, and ideally the total cash needed to purchase your home would be just over $96,000. So again, that might sound really high, but what I would encourage you to do is kind of play around with the numbers because 20% down, you guys, is what we recommend, but it's really high. And so if you're a first-time home buyer, it's okay to put 5-10% down, but you just have to realize that you're gonna be paying an additional insurance, PMI, private mortgage insurance, because your lender wants their loan protected in case you can't pay. So again, there's some extra costs that go in, but you can go as low as 5% for a down payment or as high and as great as 20% or even beyond that. But that 20% mark, you can avoid PMI, which is really key. All right, you guys, so I know we compared $75,000 income and what that could be to afford a home. And then we just compared the median price of a home was $400,000. And those feel like two very different things. And so that's why for a lot of people, they're dual income earners. If there's a family, there's two incomes coming in, which will help with that. But it is kind of a depressing market when you look at the numbers. You're like, oh my gosh. So that means if you're looking for a home, you guys, you're probably gonna have to drive an extra 20 minutes outside, maybe where you wanna be. Your location is gonna be a huge factor of the price of your home. And so there may have to be sacrifices of what your dream home was going to be in order for it to fit within your budget. Because again, we want your income to do more than just go to a mortgage payment. That's why that 25% is so key. So again, it may not be the dream house that you always wanted, but it will give you peace of mind because your budget will be under control. Okay, before I share the last step and my favorite resources that you need to get started, I want to tell you about Christian Healthcare Ministries. I know that we're all looking for ways to save, especially on healthcare costs. So do yourself a favor and check out Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's biblically based health cost sharing that can keep your budget under control. So learn more at chministries.org/budgets. And finally, the fourth step in figuring out if you can afford a bigger home is to consider your budget categories after all is said and done. So will your utilities increase in a new home? Are there upgrades or renovations you want to make? Is there going to be a new water heater that needs to be replaced, or the HVAC? How is that? Will your commute be longer to work, so you need more money for gas? Do you have significant debt that still needs to be paid off? I mean, all of these expenses need to be calculated before you sign that dotted line. So be really thoughtful and be really intentional and lean on the resources that you have. So I recommend talking to a Ramsey trusted real estate agent. They will walk with you through every step of the home buying process. They're such an amazing resource. So whether you're a first-time home buyer or a veteran homeowner, make sure to check them out. You can get connected with one today by going to ramseysolutions.com/trusted. And make sure to send this video to a friend or family member who's gearing up to go into the real estate market and maybe upgrade their home. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.